you have learned about studying job advertisements, and you have learned about how to write an application letter and also how to fill application forms. Now we are going to look at how to write and build a CV. You may ask yourself as to why you need a CV. You need a CV because it is important to understand that your CV is a way to advertise your qualities. Before an employer invites you for an interview, he or she wants to first meet you on paper. It is extremely important to impress him or her, and you should use this opportunity to make an excellent first impression. If the employer is impressed, then they can call you for an interview. Now, let's start by describing what a CV is. A CV is a short, concise document that summarizes your skills, experience, and abilities. The purpose of a CV is to demonstrate that you have the necessary skills and knowledge for a job. A CV is used to introduce yourself to a company. In saying so, you need to make sure that everything that you write or you put in that CV adds correct information. Do not make anything up because you will be caught out. Now, to start gathering ideas to write a CV, you need to do the following. Firstly, you need to list the jobs you have done in the past, including the dates. This can include part-time or holiday work. Secondly, list the subject you did at school. Thirdly, list your hobbies and interests. Fourthly, use this list to draw up a list of key skills that set you apart from other applicants. Then, reference each key skill to an experience or event at school or to a job you have done. For example, teamwork can be demonstrated through sports such as playing rugby, soccer, tennis, etc. Leadership skills are demonstrated through events you had to organize at your school, etc. And then you will also have to use action verbs to write your key skills. For example, achieved, analyzed, calculated, composed, and so forth. Now, how will your CV look? This is the structure of your CV. So the first thing that you're going to write, it's your contact information. So you start your CV with your name, your address, phone numbers, may it be home, work or cell phone, and email address as well. You can include a short personal information section. In this section, you sell yourself. Briefly outline your skills and experience relevant to the job. List your general skills such as motivator, ambitious, and indicate how they help you become a valuable asset wherever you work. Okay. Second, on your CV, it's education. You start with the most recent first. State the name of your school, the date you were there, and the subject you have passed. For example, ABC High School. Then you started 2005 and ended 2010, and then the subjects that you have passed: English, natural science, maths, etc. And then thirdly, it's experience. You are going to list any type of work experience you have had, and you have to do so in a chronological order. You start with the most recent company first. Indicate the name of the company, the date you worked there, your job title, and your duties. For example, if you are applying for an IT job, it will not be relevant to list your experience as a waiter. However, if this is the only experience you have, then you can include it and show how it gave you skills that will help you in this job. Then you will also need to add prizes and awards. You list any prizes or awards you have received for your achievements. This might include a trophy for playing soccer or a prize for being the best debater. Anything that you have won, you can include it under prizes and awards. Then other educational and training, you'll include any other relevant education and training such as computer courses completed, courses attended that were run by the school, and so on. Then interests and hobbies. This section provides information about you that an interviewer can use to find out more about you. Keep this section short and to the point. If you have run a race, for example, this shows dedication and motivation. Then testimonials and references. First, ask the permission of the individuals you want to include as references and if they would be willing to give you a positive reference. Okay, you make sure that if you are going to put someone as reference, they know. Okay, if they agree, you include their name and contact details on your CV. You can also include a testimonial if one of your references is willing to write you one. Layout tips for your CV. Layout is very important as it creates the first impression of your CV. So now follow the following tips for a good layout. After completing your CV, do the following. Ask a friend or a family member to read your CV and comment on the following. What is boring and predictable about your CV? Your CV needs to show the reader that you are confident, enthusiastic, and capable. If your information sounds boring, it will put the reader off. If your qualifications and skills stand out, the negative and the positive aspect of your CV, their initial impression of your CV, and if they think it is relevant to the job for which you are applying. Very importantly, so you need to take note. Make sure that you do not forget to check your spelling and grammar on your CV. Also know that it is common to be rejected for the majority of the jobs for which you apply. This happens when many people are applying for the same job, but do not let this get to you. Persevere and continue sending out your CV and job application forms. Use each attempt as a learning experience and identify how you can improve your chances when applying for the next job. Format. Make sure that your CV is typed. Do not handwrite it. Font. This is the style of text you use. For example, you need to choose a font that is easy to read for your CV. Use black and no other color in your CV. Make sure your font looks professional. Layout. Keep your layout plain and simple. Leave white space around the edges. Employers like to write comments in the margins that can be used in an interview. And then paper. Make sure that you use plain white paper, not colored paper. Then testimonials and evidence. Many prospective employers ask job applicants to provide testimonials and or evidence when they apply for a job. These documents help an employer to learn more about you. So a testimonial is a recommendation of person's character, education, and experience. Okay, we have different types of testimonials. The first type of testimonial is a character testimonial. This testimonial will tell someone what you are like as a person. If you are applying for a job and you don't have any experience, then it is often good to provide a character testimonial which highlights some of your good points. A teacher or a person of authority could write you one. Then a second type of testimonial is educational testimonial, which will tell someone about your educational qualifications and what kind of learner you are, and if you have qualifications, what kind of. They are supplied by the school or educational facility with a formal letter. The third type of testimonial is employment testimonial, usually written by an employer, and it will include details of what type of job you've done and for how long you worked there for. This testimonial will give information about your performance and level of seniority. And the last one is evidence. So if you are involved in informal work or participate in job shadowing, it is good to ask someone to write a letter of evidence for you. A letter will provide employers that you have some work experience. Now you are going to do activity 2. You are going to develop a CV for someone you know who has been working for a few years. You find out if they studied and include all the relevant details of their qualifications. Also find out about their work experience and set out the information in chronological order. Number 2, ask a parent or a guardian or a friend to help you write a character testimonial about yourself, no more than 50 words. And then number 3, list 4 tips for the layout of your CV to be professional. And the fourth question is, what's the difference between an educational testimonial and employment testimonial?